Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays. Network. Whole sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Yes, we are back, folks. Sorry for the delay, but we are here back again with our nice panel. We got Jonathan, we got my guy Mike, and we got my guy Freddie here with us. We are lit. Fast break, all sports, all plays, the network. We here. We got a lot of things to talk about today, right? We could go any route. We could go to these rumors we heard. We could talk about future teams, but I think we're just going to go straight into the route of this future teams thing that we've been talking about. Like, we got a lot of established teams. We know the Lakers. We know Brooklyn. We know the Bucks. Yeah. I know, bro. I know. Go ahead. Stop. All right? Mike, go get him real quick.
Bro, I can't deal with it now. We're talking about the bums today. It's my time now.
At least you know.
You feel me? At least you know. But honestly, folks, like, we know the established teams, but we have these future up-and-coming teams like the Hornets, Detroit, Houston. You can honestly even say the Spurs if you want. Maybe the Pelicans could shape out good with the whole Grantham situation. So I want to ask y'all, and who I want to go with. I'm gonna start with Jonathan on this one. What future teams or team are you most excited about, and how do you see them actually being in the next 3 to 5 years?
I like the New York Knicks.
We ain't no bums though. You feel me? Ain't no bums though.
Just a little bit.
I'm gonna go to your city. I'm gonna go to your city. I'm gonna talk about the Knicks, man, because look, the Knicks, in my eyes, were one of the most improved teams last season. And Julius Randle, man, he balled out. The former Laker, by the way, he balled out last season. You saw the growth, you saw the maturity, you saw how better he got. I think that's something that your fan base, the people in New York, have been waiting for a very long time, for the Knicks to finally get back into the playoff picture, to finally bring some excitement to that city. And they have. And I like the direction that team is going in. I think they're on the right path. I think they're finding ways to win games in a creative way. And they have a great chemistry. They have found the formula to winning. And they have a great coach. Tom Thibodeau has done a terrific job coaching that team. He has reshaped the culture there in New York, and I think New York is going to be a very exciting team to watch for many, many years to come. Again, I like what they're doing over there.
Okay. So you gave me my squad, right? So, it's the Knicks, baby. We lit. But besides us, give us like a surprise team that maybe a lot of people wouldn't actually try to even look at that you've been looking at? Like, you know what? They could be nice.
That's a tough one for me. I guess I could go with the Charlotte Hornets. They have LaMelo Ball. They're a small market team that not many people talk about. We all know the reputation that Michael Jordan has as an owner, that he's not the greatest owner around, but his franchise is starting to look up. This team is suddenly trending upwards, and that's good for the Charlotte Hornets and their city. They're buzzing, like the name of their city, Buzz City, right? So I like them. I think they have a lot of promise. I think they have a lot of youth. They have young players. I think the thing with the Charlotte Hornets, though, is can they keep that together? Can they keep that young nucleus together? If they can, they're going to be something to watch for many years to come. But they're my surprise team next season because of what LaMelo Ball has done. He is absolutely the best one out of all his brothers. He has shown that coming into the league, and he has done a good job. I don't know why Freddie is shaking his head because that's true.
He's going crazy. LaMelo is
Lonzo.
It's not a bust. Like
never. Look, the Bulls fan is even saying that LaMelo is better.
He's the youngest of his two brothers, and he has really showed up, and he has balled out last season. So I really like the Charlotte Hornets going forward.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna swing it over to my guy Fred now, because you kind of got me upset with that whole Lonzo Ball take. We know LaMelo is better. Okay, we know he's better, but I'm gonna twist this question up a little bit. Instead of giving me, the same type of spill like that, right? Out of these teams, which one do you feel will actually be the most consistent?
You know what? So to win a championship, to be one of those teams, you have to have one of the best players in the game, one of the best skilled players in the game. A guy, you have to have a guy that you can say, okay, give me a bucket, be really skilled. When I look at this player, I look at him, hey, he's unstoppable. I've seen him put moves on KD. I'm talking about a player who can score on all three levels on the court. And I'm talking about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is special. He is very special. And I hate to say it because I'm a Laker fan. I hate it. I hate Boston with a passion. But I believe Boston have underperformed the last couple of years, okay? They have. They underperformed. They have not, executed as expectations. They're still a young team. But when you talk about Boston, you see a team who sees the Lakers get their 17th championship. That should put fuel in that fire. Let's say, okay, let's build around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Let's try to bring some pieces in there so we can elevate our chances. This year you locked down Marcus Smart. You brought in a Dennis Schroeder on a cheap deal this year, who's going to have to reprove himself so he can try to make up for the money that he lost. Mm-hmm. So. Hey man, Jason Tatum, they built around this young man right here. He can be just like Kevin Durant, where he can score on all kind of levels where he cannot be stopped. He can dance on you. He can get you on the inside, hit you with that fadeaway shot. Jason Tatum is so smooth. He is so skilled. Hey, Jason Tatum, I believe one day will deliver a championship to the city of Boston for the Boston Celtics.
Honestly, I don't disagree with you. He almost did it. Like we witnessed it. He almost did it before. But I like that take. So now, Mike, same thing. I'm going to switch the question up a little bit. This time, I'm going to tailor it to your team since you consider your team bums, right?
They are. Been bums since Jordan retired. Oh, I'm sorry. Not my turn.
Let him rock. So
I don't speak to Freddie. I'm talking to Trippy right now.
All right. So with your team, right? What do you feel is the missing piece to get it right over the next 3 to 5 years?
Michael Jordan.
Dude, stop talking to me. But to answer your question, Trippy, to me, saying they're bums, it was historically what I've been watching over my childhood, what I've been watching over the last 10 years with Gar Forman and John Paxson being the GMs of this team, not bringing in recruits like LeBron or D Wade or Bosh to go help Derrick Rose. There were definitely talks where, Wade and Bron both did say we would love to come team up with Derrick, but they didn't do enough good job. It was hard in the first place. It was hard because Miami is so sweet. At the end of the day, you don't want to play in Chicago when it's cold. But for this team right now, you have the GM and the main scout of who put this Nuggets team together, and he's constructed it very well. I can't pronounce his name. I always have a hard time pronouncing his name. But he is a dog. This man in one season flipped this Bulls team on its butt and changed the narrative of everything. Billy Donovan has won Coach of the Year. Freddie could shake his head all he wants. I'll lay down a fact. And Freddie, you tell me right now if I'm wrong. At the start of last season, it was his first year as GM. We had Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Patrick Williams, and Wendell Carter Jr. He flipped that on its butt in one offseason. Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic. Alex Caruso's added. Kobe White's still there. That's not flipping the team over?
I'm not disagreeing about that, Mike.
I'm
not here to change the narrative.
Right now, it looks nice. The one thing I need from this team right now, you have your point guard of the future in Lonzo Ball. Freddie wants to go out here and say that he's better than LaMelo Ball. He
is.
So then don't make that face. Anyways, he's only 23 years old. Patrick Williams is younger than me. He's not even 21 years old yet. Zach LaVine is emerging as a top 30 player in this league, a top 20 player in this league.
That you got to hope to keep?
Dude, nobody's talking to you.
He's not lying, bro. He said it out loud.
But here's my thing. He should be.
I ain't trying to give him that.
I'm not going to change the subject, but I want it said right now. They could have said the same thing about AD before he resigned. So until it happens, don't talk about it.
No, the Lakers are not dumb. The Lakers are not dumb. We're not a bum franchise. We take care of our business,
bro. Because we're not at that bridge yet, bro.
We take care of our business.
That's all right, bro. But what I'm saying is the biggest thing for the Bulls right now, I feel like, is chemistry. These guys just got to get on the court and they just got to do their thing and they got to see if this is really something that can work. I like all these pieces. I think they all play very well together. I think, when Zach has an off night, DeMar picks it up. When DeMar has an off night, Zach picks it up. You have Lonzo feeding these guys. Nikola Vucevic is a top 10 big in this league.
Underrated.
Dude, he was in the All-Star game, Freddie. Stop talking to me.
Did I say anything? I'm over here listening to what you're saying.
You're making this face like I'm lying to you.
I can't make a face. I might see something on my phone.
Freddie, there's no more. Freddie, there's no more playing around. This Bulls team is for real.
Reminds us a lot of Jimmy Butler, like young Jimmy Butler.
This Bulls team is not substandard anymore.
Jonathan, we gonna sweep them this year. Jonathan, we gonna sweep them this year.
Anyways, though,
continue.
We've been talking about it for a while because I keep getting rudely interrupted. Chemistry is just the biggest thing. You give Zach that contract like we're talking about, and then you have a really set piece of a lot of players you have locked in. You have Lonzo locked, you have Nikola locked, you have Zach locked. These other guys are rookies. These other guys are young. DeMar's on a good contract. I definitely think this is a good situation for the Bulls moving forward. A team that's a sleeper. I wanted to say Boston, but I can't say Boston because Boston has been to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2018. So I can't really call them the sleepers of the NBA because they're always in the conversation. They're just always that one big piece away. And to me, Dennis Schroeder, if he steps up and tries to be that guy, could be that piece. But that's a topic for a different day. But a team I really like is the Indiana Pacers. I think the Indiana Pacers are a lot of guys who no one really even talks about. I mean, we're going to look at some of these names right now. People didn't even know they were on the team. We're talking about Sabonis, Miles Turner, Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, TJ McCollum. You got a TJ Warren, who in the bubble was dropping 50 on everybody.
He's still ain't coming back though. His foot's done. He's still done.
It's definitely one of those conversations to have though, where if you were to bring in a couple more stars on this team, I definitely think you have something rolling there. If PG were to say I don't want to be in LA no more and goes back to Indiana, that's a pretty nice squad. That's just an example, but I definitely think Chicago, New York, that being in the mix.
PG's done. He's a bum.
again, nobody's talking to you, but again.
But I'm talking to you.
It's a one-way street because that you just lying now. PG's a bum.
He is a bum. What have he done since he got in LA? Wet the bed.
Oh my God! But
that's exactly what he done, Mike. Oh my God, he wet the bed.
Hot take. PG-13 in them MVP talks. You feel me? Watch him. Watch him. PG-13 crazy. Watch him. Remember, no Kawhi.
I will say this.
They won't even make the playoffs this year.
Hey, Freddie.
We knew he was gonna say that. We knew. Come on, little bro going never.
The Clippers? Oh no, they ain't gonna make the playoffs.
Hey, they're not gonna be top 4. But
hey,
yeah,
look,
the Clippers are going to make the playoffs.
Look, guys, I will say this about PG.
Yeah. Oh, and here he go. Here comes Jonathan, the delusional take. Here you go. Go, Jonathan.
Would you let me talk? His defense has gotten better since he's joined the Clippers.
He's always been a good defensive player. What are you talking about?
I saw more offense. I saw more offense with the Indiana Pacers.
It's because he's a bum now, and he played for a bum franchise.
To me, he's overrated.
He is overrated.
I will say that.
It is what it is when it comes to him, man. Either way, he ain't on none of our squad, so forget him. You feel me? So look,
thank God.
Look, we're gonna get out of that whole thing about the teams. We're gonna tap into a new question. Matter of fact, not even a new question. We're gonna tap into a rumor that's out right now. Time to switch it up. We got this whole report coming out. I want to say earlier today. Zion out here ghosting the Pelicans. You feel me? What's up with that? How y'all feeling about that? Like,
I love
anybody could pick up right now. How y'all feel about that? Y'all feel like it's just a smoke screen?
I love it 110%.
Go ahead.
I think it's something.
How you feel about it?
I think, first of all, I think it's a totally different situation than AD. And I think that because with AD, and Freddie will agree with me, we haven't agreed in the last 2.5 hours, but we'll agree all day, matter of fact, but we'll agree right here to where it's not the same AD situation because you have 2 MVP candidates on that team, 2 guys that can be future MVPs. Brandon Ingram can definitely.
Oh, okay. Change your talk, young fella. I'm glad you did. Okay, glad you did.
Brandon Ingram can definitely be in that conversation in the next 3 to 5 years. Zion Williamson is expected to be in that conversation in the next 3 to 5 years. So it's not like with Anthony Davis where you're looking around and you're like, do we bring back Boogie Cousins? Or like, what do we do? For me, it's a situation you could easily flip this team on its butt, just like the Bulls did, except in a very highly different way. Like with the Knicks, if the Knicks wanted to team up RJ and Zion, they definitely could right now, and they could package Randall and they could package a bunch of other guys. Do I think they'll do that? No. I like where they're at right now. I don't feel like
that's not good enough, Mike.
It's not at all. But I definitely think there's going to be better packages out there. I'm really curious to see what happens. It's not like CP3 before where there's no one else on this team. This team has an established guy in Brandon. They're not going to be lost in the wind. For Zion's side of things, I hate people who say, oh, it's not Zion talking. It's just his family talking. I'll tell you what, if my mom tells you that Mike's pissed off, there's a 9 out of 10% chance that I'm pissed off because she's my mom. She knows. They know best. So why Zion might not be able to legally speak about it, but if his family's speaking about it, that's the facts, and that's how they feel. Until Zion goes out there and says, like LaMelo Ball, Alonzo Ball does about LeVar, that's not how I feel, then that's not how he feels. But he hasn't gone out there and said that. So to me, he truly feels that way. You have a Jello, you have Alonzo, you have a LaMelo who say, what my dad says is not credible. This is not our conversation. We are not saying this. That's one thing. How many weeks has this been out about Zion being uncomfortable? A while. Now it's getting a little bit more heated. Mm-hmm. He hasn't said a word about it. All he says is buy my new shoes. So I don't see anything different to why we shouldn't be taking this seriously. I think there's a lot of teams Zion could go to. One team I really want him to go to, I think it's so underrated. I want him to go to the Hawks. I want him to go to the Hawks so bad. Trey and Zion together, Lob City 2.0, and I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be nice.
My son out here looking for Bud Webb, Dominique Wilkins 2.0 matchup. I see you. Okay, we know Trey ain't jumping out the gym though, but I see where you're going with that though. I see where you're going.
I want to see Zion down there in Portland with Dame Dollar. You talking about with Trey? Man, can you imagine with him and Dame Dollar?
They do need help in their front court, but I don't think that's gonna make Dame happy.
Right. Oh, it would make him happy. Oh,
either way,
he has a centerpiece that would be with him for years. He gets to end his prime years with what? His late. He's in his prime. Then he's about to be out of it, and he gets to play that whole time with Zion, bro. Are you crazy?
But
They put shooters around him.
Explain to me why Dame just wouldn't leave with Zion. Why would it? I just don't feel like Dame wants to be there in general. I think if it's the same front office,
are we sure?
Coaches,
are we sure, Mike? Are we really
That's
sure?
what I'm saying.
No, are we really sure Dame really wants out? I mean, I'm tired of this narrative. Okay, it's the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Okay, these guys say, "Oh, I want out. I want out." Oh, listen, Mike. Listen. No, listen. You're talking about a guy that said, "Oh, I want out." You Dame? No, Mike, Jonathan. I'm talking.
I didn't say anything.
I mean, Jonathan, I'm talking. Listen, you talking about a guy and Damian Lillard who thought, I want to leave, want out. The reports all summer, I want out. Now all of a sudden he loves Portland. He loves the city of Portland. He's locked in. So until he says what's on his mind, until he actually do it, I don't know what this dude want to do.
He could just be saying that to divert attention away from himself and his.
Well, guess what? If you want out, because right now I believe Ben Simmons won't get traded until they see what's going on with Damian Lillard. And if I was the city of Philadelphia, I wouldn't trade him because I want to see what's up with Dame. We'll see by December if Dame really wants to be out.
Ben Simmons most likely won't get traded because Daryl Murray wants too much for him anyway.
No, he don't want too much for him. You
talk about will be traded by next week. Believe it.
I don't believe that.
To the Nuggets, that's what everyone is speculating.
I don't know about that whole Nuggets. They're a sleeper team, but I don't believe that.
Man, look who finally joined the show. Will. I thought Will was hiding from the teacher.
Anybody hide from you, fool?
Look at
Mr. Two Match. I got a life, okay?
Denver trade.
I thought you hiding from me.
Nah, man.
Hope that would not happen.
Never.
What's up, William?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
I looked on your show Monday, Will. I was off. I said, let me hop on there, Will. And I said, man, there's Will on the show.
You should have told me. I would have been there.
Oh, I'm that special. You would.
I would have been there.
You would have cut your plans just for me. You see that, gentlemen? You see that?
Well, Will, you just jumped in. You feel me? Hold on. He just jumped in. Let me catch his take real quick. How you feeling about this whole Zion situation? You feel me? I definitely want the people to hear your take on it.
Thing with Zion, man, they need to cater to him as much as they possibly can. That's your money maker. That's your meal ticket. And if you mess him up, the fan never gonna forgive you. Never, ever gonna forgive you for that. They shouldn't have traded. Look, I love having Lonzo. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's gonna be great as a bull. But at the same point, Zion didn't want that man to go. You should have listened to that man. But now his family talking about he want to go. He look like he's going to be out of there pretty soon. I'm telling you, man, it's a bad situation all the way around. And if Zion goes, there goes your fan base.
That's a fact. That's a big fact. Now,
before Trip, I got another question.
What's up?
Do you guys believe? And I brought this up on Real Talk, and Tony did too, but I kind of walked in late, so I kind of doubled the question. Do you guys believe the reason why New Orleans is not putting too much factor into Zion is because, I believe the same owner who owns the Saints own the Pelicans. Maybe they're too much worried about the football side than the basketball side. What do you guys thoughts on that?
I don't think there's any basketball people up in there, if you're asking that.
No, but I'm just saying, this whole mindset is like, hey, we want the Saints to be number one in New Orleans.
I kind of see it's a football. It's a football season.
It's a football town.
It's definitely something to take in consideration, and Will knows just as well as I do, especially in Chicago. This is the first time in a very long time in Chicago that we've seen Jerry Reinsdorf, who's the owner of the White Sox and the Bulls, actually invest time in good measures on both teams. The White Sox look amazing. They're World Series contenders in the eyes of most. You have the Bulls are rejuvenated, a new front office, a new system, a new players, new everything. But prior to that, it was really every 10 years they switched off. The 90s was the Bulls. The early 2000s was the White Sox. Then Derrick Rose came in the 2010s, and you ran with that. But then the White Sox were horrible. You were always one or the other. It was never both. But now I'm starting to see that it could be both. You just need to be able to spend that money. So in New Orleans, with everything going on there, I do think Freddie has a point there where it's like you need to understand, or at least, a big thing with Jerry was, okay, Jerry said his son's in charge of the Bulls now. His son takes over for the Bulls and Jerry takes over for the White Sox. So now there's two heads instead of one. I think you need to decide who's going to be your second guy to take care of the other team, so it's not just like your main focus is on tunnel vision in the Saints, and you can focus on making Zion happy. Because right now you're going to end up with Jameis Winston and Brandon Ingram, and that's it. Because Alvin Kamara, you keep treating him the way you're treating him, you're going to be out too. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I agree with Will on this take. Truth be told, They really got to do better over there. And on top of that, I don't think they have anybody that's like whoever's the real owner. I mean, like, yeah, you say he owns both teams, but whoever he has actually running this team, they don't know a lick of basketball. Like I think everybody is just really in tune with football, and they need to get a real basketball mind up there, like above the press, above all that. They need a basketball mind, and I think that's the only thing that's really stopping them.
Yeah,
but honestly, Zion's out of here.
It's a football city, though. Hey, Louisiana's a football state. Period.
But when you go back and take a look at that, when your general manager comes from the city of Cleveland, and as that team was until LeBron got there for the longest, something wrong, man.
Yeah.
Well, so who changed the city of Cleveland again?
I admit it was LeBron. I admit that. He got because that GM man, he's got issues. He had issues in Cleveland. That team won in spite of him.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
there you go again, man.
There's definitely an issue in that front office. It definitely starts in the front office.
Hey, I want to say something to Mike real quick. Hey, Mike. You my brother, I love you like brother from another mother. Hey, you real dude. You one of the realest dudes that I know, man. You say what's on your mind.
Why you buttering up? Why you buttering?
I'm not buttering up. No, and you ain't afraid to speak your mind.
Them up for the kill. I see.
No, you ain't afraid to say what's on your mind, my dog. You from Chicago. Stand up, Mike.
I'm chilling,
listen,
bro.
man. You're a winner,
Mike,
man.
Do you eat tomatoes
You're a
on
winner.
your hot dog?
You're a winner.
You know what?
So I
Tomatoes on your hot dog?
Hell no.
You eat glizzies?
Mike,
That's how
you're a
Chicago
winner.
Folks eat it. That's why I'm
Mike,
hold
on, Mike. Mike, you're a winner, man. I got a deal for you. We can drop all your Chicago stuff. We can come down here to La, to Hollywood, to Rodeo Drive, down here to the house Kobe and Shaq built. Put on the purple and gold, not the Clippers because they ain't win nothing. Come down here, put on the purple and gold, and come on a journey with us, my brother, and win a championship. Come on, lead the Bulls and come to my Lakers.
I tell you what, and I'm gonna say this in the most respectful way possible. If you would have hooked up D Rose and traded for him to bring him over, I would have been with you, my friend. But y'all brought in Russ, and y'all disrespected me. So I'm staying over here.
You would have put your Chicago down.
If y'all would have hooked up Pooh, because Pooh is bigger than the Bulls in Chicago. That's how I look at it. Pooh is that man. Derek is that man. You would have hooked him up with a ring, brother. I would have bought a Derek jersey. I still would have been a Bulls fan, but I would have been rocking with y'all.
How can he still be a Bulls and he didn't win anything down there?
Don't matter. That man made it out. That man's doing something right now. And you know what? We're not going to talk too deep in it, but I'm going to say it right now because I know I got my Chicago.
That's low expectations, Mike. You know that?
You know what, Freddie? You don't get it. You don't get it. And
that is low expectations.
Nah, but let me speak.
Wow.
You just don't get it, bro.
I do get it.
This man came from Southside.
Man, come on, let's move on. Y'all been going.
This man came.
As a fact, you gotta let them do it, bro.
This bad blood.
You gotta let them do it sometimes.
This not bad blood. Me and Mike.
Bad blood at all. I'm just saying. Derek came from the mud. Derek did something nobody else did.
I'm just kidding.
Nah, but look, we definitely off that topic though. But look, with me, my time is kind of running out real quick. So I'm gonna leave y'all with a question before I head out. Right now, this is a question that a few of us had on our minds. Right there's a lot of new coaches with a lot of new teams, right? Who do you feel is actually going to be the most successful this season? And I'm going to definitely tune in to see these answers. Y'all be good, everybody. I love y'all. We out. I got to go.
All right, bro.
What's up, Freddie? I want to hear your take on this one.
To me, I'm going Chauncey Billups. You know, I'm very interested to see his mindset. I'm very interested to see, you know, what can he do different that Terry Stotts did not do, you know, in Portland. I'm very interested to see if he can get this team to commit on the defensive side of the ball. I'm ready to see if he can turn in two great players in CJ and Dame, but to the other players around them to help carry this load. Because quite be honest with you, Portland did not do a doggone thing to improve this roster. They did not do anything to show Damian Lillard why they deserve a second chance. So to me, I want to see what can Chauncey Billups do to change the narrative, to bring these guys together. And I want to see what kind of system, you know, I'm interested because Chauncey's one of them old school guys. I want to see if he's going to, you know, is he going to be acceptable to this 3-point line? You know, I know that he, you know, come up with some, you know, he got some kind of scheme about he's not for all the 3-point shooting, you know, shots and all that stuff. But I'm interested to see, you know, because you have Dame, who's one of the best 3-point shooters in the game. You know, I want to see how, you know, their relationship is. That's what I'm gonna keep my eye on this year. I'm gonna watch really closely.
Yeah, for me, it's Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd has replaced Rick Carlisle in Dallas, and now he inherits a team that's, you know, made it to the playoffs the last 2 seasons. Unfortunately, the team lost in the first round both times, but I would like to see how he can help with the development of Luka. I think, you know, he's excited to get back to work. He has a chance to, show that he can coach this young team, a team that's very hungry, and a team that's incredibly talented, and a team that is built for the long haul, you know. So I would like to see what Jason Kidd can do. Dallas is definitely banking on him, you know, and I think he'll do well. He'll get a second chance at coaching. You know, he coached in Milwaukee before. It didn't work out for him. He was fired by the Bucks midway through that season, but now he has a chance.
Jonathan, you stopped in his journey. That's not. He didn't go to the Bucks and just go here. Where else did he go and do what?
Yeah, he became an assistant coach, but now he.
And what did he do? And what did they do?
Freddie, before I was rudely interrupted, Jason Kidd has done a good job with helping with the development of players. And I think he'll do a good job in Dallas. I think he has a chance to be great. Mark Cuban sees something in him, which is why he hired him. And I think he will change the culture of that team and will keep that team winning for many years to come. So I'm going with Jason Kidd. Damn it.
Well, I don't think it was Mark Cuban seeing something in Jason Kidd. I think it was Dirk Nowitzki. You know, because I believe Dirk had, you know, the biggest pull to, you know, the hardest dude. And what's up, Chris? I see you in the comments. You got the Chris. If you guys don't know this, Chris was running from the show today because he knew I was on here.
Chris lurking.
Nah, though. What were we talking about? For new coaches, I really like dude out of OKC. I think Mark. I forget how to say his name. I'm looking at it right now. Diagonal. I don't know how to pronounce that, but Mark. I'm gonna call him Marky D. Marky D looked real nice with that OKC team. They did not have a lot of pieces to work with, but he did look a lot better than a lot of people anticipated. I think, you know, Billy Donovan goes down to Chicago, and, you know, you lose a big piece there with, you know, they really didn't have anything with just Chris Paul by himself. So Mark going into this, I'd like to see the continued development of players. Maybe bring in a couple more pieces. They have a lot of draft picks to work with. I truly believe right now OKC draft picks alone could probably get Ben Simmons and somebody else that wants to go. You could get You could get Dame and Zion in OKC if they really wanted. That's how many picks these guys got coming out of their butt. It's that crazy. Like, you could trade Shea, you could trade these picks for Dame and Zion, and it could work out like that. So I think I'm really interested to see what Mark has to bring to that team. Another one is obviously I'd like to see Tom Thibodeau in another year with the New York Knicks. You know, you bring in Kemba, you have D Rose is solidified, you know what his role is. So you're pretty solid there. You know, Obi Toppin year 2, Billy Donovan obviously with the Bulls, big expectations, big things coming. That's at least how we look at it, me and Will. So you gotta be able to do that now. You got Lonzo, you know, you got Freddie's guy, a previous LA Laker. You know, you have Lonzo Ball now, so I'm gonna need you to start working like that because you're a floor general type of guy. You need that guy to facilitate the ball. That's how your offense is ran. You really didn't have that in Kobe White. You got that now. You got that now in Lonzo. You brought in Alex Caruso, so I expect big things from all three of those coaches.
I'm going to agree with Freddie this time. I want to see what Billups does in Portland.
What the heck? You agree with me?
I want to see what's going on with Billups over in Portland, just to see if he can make Dame Lillard even a better player. I want to see what he does with that team. That team is missing something. I can't put my finger on what that team is missing, but that team is missing something. You might be right, but they missing something to keep them in the same position that they've been in. I want to see if Chauncey Billups can turn that thing around. If he can't turn it around, that's when I think your boy Dame Lillard is out of there. Yeah, they're missing something. I don't know. To be honest, guys, and I like him. Don't get me wrong. I don't think CJ that dude, man. Yeah, I just don't think he's that dude. No, good dude.
CJ's nice, but his game doesn't complement what Dame is trying to get done, and that's finished basketball games.
Exactly.
CJ's a great regular season guy.
CJ's a good third option.
Yeah, he's not your second. He's not your number 2. It's the same thing with True Holiday when he was with the Pelicans. You know, you have True Holiday. You know, you have all these young cats around that aren't established, and True looks nice, but he's not really fitting in that role. You bring him up to the Bucks, and True don't got to be that guy. True don't have to be the biggest vet in the room. So he's just chilling. He's doing his thing. Middleton's the clear-cut number 2. Giannis is number 1. He just got to do his thing, and he actually carried them for a good part of those series. So for me, I like CJ. I like him a lot, but I feel like if you were to just move down, maybe you bring in a Buddy Hield, maybe you bring in somebody else that's cheaper, where you don't have to spend as much money bringing in a Zion or bringing in someone of that caliber. You don't have to give up the draft capital for it either. And, you know, it is the Kings. It is the Kings at the end of the day. So they definitely would probably take CJ. They're that bad. But it's one of those things where if you were to give him a Buddy Hield or something, I think you could have a different conversation with Dame.
Be a different type of backcourt, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Hey, gentlemen, I got to hop off real quick, man. You guys have a wonderful show. Rest of the show. I'll catch you guys in the comments, all right?
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
But that's the thing to me with Portland. It's just the fact that they've been just coming up just short.
Right.
And they got
to change the game.
Yeah, they got to change the culture. And I think Billups will do that and really get those boys playing in high gear.
Without a doubt.
What's that?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the time CJ going to have to shine, because if he don't, boy's going to be hurting, man.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Yeah,
it's going to be all bad.
Yeah, for sure.
But guys, what's going to happen with Ben Simmons? Let's talk a little bit about that, because you know what? This Ben Simmons saga has dragged on for a very long time. And quite frankly, guys, I'm going to keep it real. I'm tired of it. Like, it's mentally draining. That's all you hear in the NBA news nowadays. And I understand that it's slow in the NBA newsroom. But my goodness, they're either going to trade him or they're going to hold on to him. I think, honestly, I think he stays put. I think he stays in Philadelphia, and I think the Sixers will make his life a living hell.
He's not going to Denver, that's for sure.
Where does he go, guys? Where does Ben Simmons end up at this point?
I want to know where Nate goes. He pops in, he pops out.
Pops in, pops out. pops in, pops out. My thing with Ben, I think if Ben doesn't play, I don't think Philly pays him. I think they're just gonna make him sit. But they're gonna make him sit. They'll make him sit. That man still got what? About 3-4 years left on that deal that he signed to make all that money. He's gonna sit, man. Until they come up with a trade that's gonna benefit them. But they ain't gonna pay him because I know I wouldn't. Look, you ain't dressing out, you ain't playing. I'm not paying you. I'm gonna let you sit there and you're not gonna play and you're not gonna get paid.
Well, he's a terrible shooter anyway. He can't shoot the basketball if his life depended on it. So, I mean, the Sixers are not really missing out. No one's missing out. He's not that great of a player.
No, I don't like that, Jonathan. I definitely think Ben Simmons is an amazing player. He's an amazing athlete.
He just can't shoot the basketball. I shouldn't have said that he's not a great player.
Yeah, right. He's definitely one of the top defenders in this league. And
he is, and a great passer.
Say body frame wise and the way he goes about himself, he definitely could be LeBron James 2.0. If this guy just shot the ball and if that guy could be consistent and if he had any type of work ethic, he definitely could. His problem is he's so worried about his Call of Duty streams and all this off-season stuff, Kendall Jenner and all this other crap, that he just doesn't care. We've watched him knock down threes in practice. We've watched him do this stuff on a consistent level. Why you don't do it, I truly don't understand. I feel like when you're 20 years old, that's one thing. But when you're what is he now, like 25, 26? If you're getting to that age where you've been in this league a while, and I need you to be able to understand your fan base will always still be there. See guys just shoot 30% a year. Russell Westbrook still has an amazing fan base, and people like the Lakers are still going out and trading for him regardless of his 3-point percentage. So for me, it's one of those things where Ben just needs to suck it up and do it and stop being a cupcake about it. And he's going to end up like one, and he's going to get thrown right at the wall. I mean, you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. And trust me, there's teams out there that would kill for a Ben Simmons. I promise you right now, De'Aaron Fox and a Buddy Hill and all those other guys are available for a Ben Simmons, and Sacramento will do it. Ben does not want to end up somewhere like there. You do not want Dame ending up in Philly getting all the glory with Embiid while you're stuck in Portland.
Man, I'll go out and get Karl Anthony Towns and put him in Minnesota.
Exactly. It's definitely a consideration. And you don't even have to.
Yeah, that's definitely a consideration.
Let him freeze. Sure.
I really like him, and I know I keep saying this. I like him to go to Golden State. I just think he fits there really well because look who's in the backcourt. You have Klay Thompson when he comes back healthy, and then you have Steph Curry. What that means is that Ben Simmons doesn't have to do too much.
Right.
All he has to do is be a playmaker. That's it.
Right.
That's all that will be asked of him because, for one, he's not a great shooter. And then, two, he can create plays for guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. So that's why I like him with the Golden State Warriors. I think if you put him there, you plug him into that offense, the Warriors can be a serious
only thing is, you think they'd be willing to give up Draymond?
They would have to.
I think it's to me. I think that's
the only way that deal gets done.
Here's what it comes down to, though. In my eyes, it comes down to he doesn't have to shoot. He doesn't, especially not in Golden State after Klay comes back. You have the Splash Bros and the Brick Brother. That's what they would call that because he's chucking nothing up but bricks. At the end of the day, though, Draymond Green's work ethic is everything. It goes so underrated. This man is a defensive player type candidate. Same as Ben. Ben is one as well. But the difference is Draymond is willing to take those shots. He's willing to try to be that guy, even though he's not. He is willing to do that. He's also mentoring at a very effective level. James Wiseman is becoming a great defender and a great post-up guy and a great big in this league. I think he will be. So to me, why would you trade that for someone with an ego the size of Ben Simmons who doesn't want to help mentor somebody, who believes he's still that star guy but won't do anything to do that? You want guys like Klay and Curry. You think they're going to be okay? And Steve Kerr especially. You just played with KD. You played with Iguodala. You played with Curry, Klay, Draymond, so on and so forth. And then you're going to get a guy who won't shoot?
Right.
Not even. All right, maybe if he doesn't make them, that's fine. But we're gonna make you better. You saw Andrew Wiggins have a resurgence just a little bit, just by being around guys like that. You kind of saw him kind of pick it up just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit, and it's just enough. With Ben, I feel like if you're around these shooters, you're gonna have to be compelled to shoot, and if you still don't, then Golden State's gonna have a problem because this guy just doesn't want to be better. I don't know him on a personal level to say that. But you're proving to me every single day that you're not, and you have zero work ethic.
I was even telling Brian Snow the other a couple months back on his show, if you give him a mid-range game, free throw line extended, man, that's all he needs. That's all he needs. He don't need nothing else. He can be the model. He could be DeRozan, another version of DeRozan right now. That's all he needs to be.
Right, exactly, and he just won't take that. And it was a big thing we saw with Jimmy Butler as well with Philly. What was a big reason to why the 76ers didn't work out with Jimmy Butler was guys' work ethics. You know, Joel Embiid was still going through those growing pains of being that number one guy, and now he's figured that out. But Ben still hasn't figured that out, and Jimmy hasn't been on that team in 3 years. So Joel's taken it to a whole nother level, work ethic wise. He's looked amazing, top big in this league, top 3. You know, Ben. How's Ben? What would you say Ben top at his position and for what he does and what he's supposed to be? What would you rate him at? I have him top 20. I don't have until you show me you can be that guy. I can't have you in my top 10.
Yeah, top 20, top 20, top 25.
Yeah, that's just how I look at it.
I hope we get some resolution to it soon because I agree with
without
you.
a doubt. Like Ben Simmons is a fun guy to watch, bro. Like
it's getting old.
It's getting very old.
But it's
getting very old.
Just disappoint us. I think to Jonathan's point, I think it's going to be a James Harden situation all over again. The only difference is I think the guys who are going to hold isn't James Harden in this situation. I think it's actually Philadelphia's front office. I don't think they fold. I think they tell you, all right, then sit. We won't pay you. That's perfectly fine. It is what it is. We still know at the end of the day, we're going to get a package for you regardless. We're willing to wait for that final offer.
Yeah. Like I say, send him to Minnesota. Freeze him out. Freeze him out.
Not even a top.
Yeah, he'll be part of that rebuild in Minnesota. Minnesota surprisingly are in the news too because they just fired their general manager recently.
You know why, right?
Why it's such a big deal is because
you know why, right? You know why, right?
Why?
He was messing around with one of the female employees. He is married. The employee he was messing around with is married. They wanted to get rid of him anyway, so he just gave the Timberwolves all the ammo they needed to get rid of him.
Oh man,
he got caught.
I
told you he was messing with Cat, right? It just wasn't the Cat you thought I was talking about.
Exactly. According to reports, he got busted out of the soccer game kissing that girl, and they both married. Both of them fine.
I'm telling you, man, in the workplace, it be some crazy stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't always hear about. And then when it links out, we're all surprised all of a sudden, like, wow, that really happened? Yes, it happened.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that's a crazy situation over there in Minnesota. But Minnesota, man, yes, I think they would like to have Ben Simmons as part of their rebuild, even though he can't really shoot the basketball well. But
if you build, you have to build him around. You build LeBron, right? You have to put shooters around him. You put shooters around him, he'll be perfect. You get some good, consistent shooters on the wings, he'll be perfect.
Right. It would be perfect, and if Golden State can do that, that would be great for them. Guys, let's go into one more topic because I think this is a very important one, and it has to do with the Denver Nuggets, and we're going to talk about Michael Porter Jr. Okay, Michael Porter Jr. and the Nuggets have been discussing an extension for him. How you guys feel about him getting a contract extension with the Nuggets, and do you think he's deserving of it?
For me, and my laptop might die, so if it does, I'll be right back. I have it on my phone, posted up, ready. I wanted the Bulls to draft Michael Porter Jr. I didn't want Michael Carter Jr. by any means. Michael Porter Jr. is a dog prior to that back surgery. I definitely think he's tapping into something special. I think the problem, and it's a good problem. It's a good problem to have. The reason his development isn't going to the way we thought it would is the same reason Kuzma hasn't developed the way we thought he could. That's because you just have too many mouths to feed in that room.
Right.
You have Jamal Murray, Jokic, you bring in Aaron Gordon. It's a lot to do with that. So a big contract extension, I wouldn't do it just because of the amount of pieces and amount of mouths you have to feed in there. But I definitely think you take that into consideration. I think Michael Porter Jr. is an amazing player. I think, the media really kind of threw him under the bus with some of his comments he's made in the past. He's a young kid. I'm a young kid. I say stupid stuff all the time. You're just lucky I'm not famous or you hear about it. Like if my PS4 chats were available, bro, I'd be in jail right now. The amount of stuff I did to kids. But yeah, without a doubt, I think he is well deserving of an extension. I just don't know how high. I wouldn't give him a max contract.
Oh no, me neither. But the talent is there for him to be a great player. I agree with you. I just think Denver's in the spot. They got so many talented players there. Yeah. And you got Jamal Murray coming back this year. I love Murray. He's coming back this year. You got the reigning MVP down there, or up there, I should say. So they got a lot of mouths to feed. I wouldn't do it either because his injury history is a concern to me too.
Yeah, and you already have one with Jamal now too. So it's
yeah, I'll be very leery, leery.
In recent years, though, he has taken his game to a higher level.
Almost definitely.
He has helped the Nuggets improve tremendously.
Yeah.
He has been a huge part of that offense, which has made him a more valuable player, which is probably why he's in conversation for a new deal, of course. But, there's moments that Michael Porter does disappear as well. Right. To me, he's a very streaky shooter. But he can give you some points. He averaged 19 points last year with the team. I like him, but I don't like him that much. Where I think he's worth a long-term extension.
Right.
Because for the Nuggets, that would be like shooting themselves in the foot.
Right.
On the nights that he don't show up and play.
Right.
When you could pay other guys on that team. I mean, you still got Jokic on the books. You got Jamal Murray, who I think is more of the centerpiece moving forward. Unfortunately for the Nuggets, they just lost him due to injury last season. And if they would have had him on the floor, it could have been a whole different outcome for the Nuggets last season.
Oh, I definitely had them as if it wasn't. I had the Suns and the Nuggets as my Western Conference Finals group.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It just didn't end up matching up like that because of standings because Jamal was out so early.
Right. So my point is this: those are the two guys you want to build around, Jokic and Murray. Not so much Porter, and that's no disrespect to Porter. I'm just saying like this because he's a streaky shooter, and he's someone that you don't want to give a long-term extension to.
I look at Porter as a luxury. He's somebody who you'd be happy to have, but don't necessarily need him to have to win. Right. That's where I look at him. He's a good player. He's a budding player, up and coming, that for sure. But he's somebody that I don't think the Nuggets necessarily need to have to win. They're very well coached, team, so you don't have to worry about that. As long as Murray and our MVP stay healthy, he'll be all right. I just think that he's a luxury. You love to have him, but you don't necessarily need him to have him to be consistent in the win.
Right, like a Jordan shoe. You don't necessarily need it, but it's nice to have. Right. Absolutely. I see where you're coming from on that. Well, man, I mean, it's down to just me and you, it seems, on the show now. So, any final takes, man? William, you
I just want this Ben Simmons stuff to be done and be over ASAP. Let's get this thing done. I want to see depending on who they get. Philly is still a talented team. I think that Philly could win without him. I think Philly can win games without him. I'm not saying they'll be championship level, but they'll be playoff level in the Eastern Conference. And I want to see where he goes, who they get. And let's get this season going. Let's get the Dame Lillard drama over too. Let's get the Bradley Beal drama over. And see where these guys end up, because that's where all your news is right now. Those 3 cats right there. So let's get this thing started. See where they go.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. And any final takes?
One of my big ones, I feel like, and it goes so underrated. I think the Washington Wizards, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it, are going to be so good. I think they're so young and so good if they can keep Beal. I think Beal, if they do have a good season, Beal remains in Washington. I see no reason why he really wants to leave other than the fact that they missed the playoffs. So the fact that he got that little taste of that, didn't really perform as well. Westbrook kind of was the spotlight on that. Did he perform well either? No. But he was the spotlight. Bradley Beal kind of took a step back in the playoffs. I feel like it's a two-way street. If you want to make the playoffs, fine. But then when we make it, I need you to show up and drop 30. Like, that's period. That's how it's got to go. You see Bron do that. Bron demands excellence. Bron demands you to make the playoffs. And the second he gets there, he balls out. He might average 25 in the regular season, but come the playoffs, he's going to give you 36. You know what I mean? Like, that's Bron. For me, that's what I think I'm taking from this is I really do want to see what Washington brings into the season. And go Bulls, of course, but
Heck yeah.
I would like to see where John Wall ends up if he gets traded.
Y'all heard the rumor. The rumor.
There's talks that he could be moved very soon.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up as well. All this stuff right now is like all speculation and it's a bunch of drama because there's really no games going on right now. So everyone is talking about trades and what if this happens and what is the possibility of this and that, you know how it goes. But that's NBA news for you right now. And now I'm going to finally wrap this show up. It's just me and William. Obviously Mike is having some technical difficulties. I would like to get him back on before I really close this show out. But William, it's been nice talking to you. It's been a pleasure.
Same here, my friend.
And, I look forward to having you back next Friday for another episode of Fast Break. I know it's late out there in Georgia for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your night, man. Thanks for coming on and talking some NBA with us.
Anytime, man. Anytime. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a big pleasure being part of ASAP. And I'm just having fun over here with the fellas. And hopefully you can check me out on Tuesdays, ASAP Wrestling Hour. I'm going to do my best to be there this weekend after work. So definitely check me out there.
And thanks to Mike, and thanks to Trippy, and thanks to Freddie. He left because he couldn't take the heat anymore, so he had to get out the kitchen. And he said good night early. So until next time, you guys be strong. You guys stay well, and we'll see you guys next Friday.
Later, guys.
Good.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays. Network. Whole sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.